The Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise is no stranger to drama, but NeNe Leakes, one of the most iconic and controversial stars in the show's history, just turned the heat all the way up. In a recent jaw-dropping interview, NeNe didn't just throw subtle shade at her former co-stars, she practically dismantled the very foundation of RHOA. And it all started with the shocking exit of Kenya Moore. Kenya, long known for stirring the pot and keeping the cameras rolling, recently walked away from the show, but this wasn't your typical thanks and goodbye. According to NeNe, it was a calculated departure that left fans with more questions than answers. What really happened? Why now? Was it her choice, or was she pushed out? During her no-holds-barred interview, NeNe pulled back the curtain on what was really going down behind the scenes, and let's just say it wasn't pretty. While viewers have always seen Kenya as the queen of chaos, NeNe claims that off-camera, Kenya was being pushed to the edge. Kenya thought she was untouchable. She thought she could keep doing whatever she wanted, NeNe revealed. But there were a lot of people behind the scenes who didn't appreciate her antics anymore. It's easy to be the villain when the cameras are rolling, but what happens when the show's over? You can't keep playing the game if you're not willing to follow the rules. Her comments paint a picture of Kenya not simply stepping away, but being strategically forced out by a combination of network fatigue and co-star tension. NeNe even hinted that Bravo producers and perhaps some housewives themselves had reached a point where Kenya's drama wasn't worth the damage anymore. But that's not all NeNe had to say. She also spilled major tea about the potential return of Phaedra Parks, and fans are not ready for what's coming next. After her own explosive and controversial departure from the franchise, rumors have swirled for years about Phaedra making a comeback. Now, according to NeNe, that moment may finally be here. NeNe's comments have sparked massive speculation that Phaedra's return could be a strategic move to revitalize the show, a series that many fans feel has been slipping into irrelevance in recent seasons. Phaedra brings something different. People want to see her again, whether they love her or love to hate her, NeNe said. She knows how to shake things up. But what if there's more going on behind the scenes than just personal drama? What if Kenya's exit and Phaedra's return are part of a bigger strategic play happening at Bravo? One that could completely shift the power dynamics of the Real Housewives of Atlanta? With longtime stars leaving and fan favorites possibly returning, NeNe hinted that the franchise is entering a new era, one that might leave behind the drama queens of the past and usher in a new type of housewife. For years, Kenya Moore was a central figure on the show, pushing boundaries and keeping audiences glued to their screens. Her exit doesn't just mark the end of a season, it signals a major turning point for the franchise. Whether you're Team Twirl or Team NeNe, one thing's for sure. RHOA is on the brink of a massive shakeup. With Phaedra Parks potentially returning and Kenya Moore's dramatic exit still raising eyebrows, this next chapter could be the most explosive yet. Stay tuned, the drama is only just beginning. NeNe Leakes didn't hold back in her latest interview, and her words are still sending shockwaves through the Real Housewives of Atlanta fandom. One of her most eye-opening statements centered around Kenya Moore's exit, which NeNe framed not as a graceful departure, but a long overdue unraveling. According to NeNe, Kenya's biggest downfall was her refusal to evolve with the show. As RHOA has continued to shift and transform over the years, its stars have had to adapt. But NeNe claims Kenya didn't, and that stubbornness cost her. While other housewives were finding new ways to connect with viewers through business ventures, personal growth, and family dynamics, Kenya remained stuck in her old patterns, chasing controversy and camera time over authentic connection. This raises the question, did Kenya leave on her own terms, or was she pushed out to make way for a new era? NeNe didn't offer all the behind-the-scenes specifics, but her tone made one thing clear: Kenya's exit wasn't exactly a mutual decision. According to her, Bravo may have been ready to move on, and just when fans thought RHOA couldn't get any more unpredictable, NeNe dropped another bombshell. Phaedra Parks might be making a grand return. And let's be clear, this isn't just a comeback. It could be the moment that redefines the direction of the franchise entirely. Phaedra, who left under a cloud of controversy in 2017, was once one of the most polarizing and unforgettable figures on the show. Her dramatic fallout, stemming from the now infamous lie involving Portia Williams and Kandi Burruss, led to her being uninvited to the season reunion and essentially being exiled from RHOA. For many, that marked the end of her story. But now, in 2025, Phaedra's name is back in the headlines, and not because of scandal. This time, she's reportedly eyeing a return to the RHOA stage, not just to clear her name, but to reclaim her position. The timing is no coincidence. Why now? What's changed? And why is NeNe so convinced that Phaedra's return could be the very spark RHOA needs? According to NeNe, this isn't just about plugging the hole left by Kenya's departure. She made it crystal clear. Phaedra's return is a strategic move by Bravo, a calculated decision to bring fresh energy, veteran experience, and yes, the drama that fans have been missing. Let's be honest, RHOA hasn't quite felt the same in recent years. The revolving door of new faces, some of whom barely made an impact, left viewers nostalgic for the golden days of shade, reads, and iconic feuds. Phaedra, NeNe says, is the kind of housewife who knows how to deliver on all fronts. Phaedra is one of the few who understands the game, NeNe said. She knows how to play the villain and the hero. She can turn a story around and make it hers. And she's not wrong. Phaedra has always brought a unique combination of intellect, wit, and controlled chaos to the screen. With her legal background, her infamous ability to drop bombshells with a smile, and her uncanny knack for stirring up drama while keeping her hands mostly clean, she might be exactly what RHOA needs to regain its footing. Insiders at Bravo have hinted that Phaedra's return is also part of a broader effort to revive declining ratings and reinvigorate fan interest. With Kenya gone and no dominant personality filling her place, the show is at a crossroads. Phaedra's comeback could be the beginning of a full-scale revival, but that's not the only layer to this developing story. NeNe also pointed to a larger shift happening behind the scenes, a change in the power dynamics within the RHOA cast. For years, there was a clear hierarchy. OGs like NeNe and Kandi held court, while newer cast members had to earn their place. Phaedra, even during her original run, was always a force to be reckoned with. Whether going head-to-head with Kandi, clashing with Kenya, or throwing shade with a smile, she made it clear she wasn't afraid of anyone. And now, with Kenya out of the picture, that opens the door for Phaedra to walk right back into the spotlight. So why hasn't she come back sooner? Some sources say Bravo wasn't ready to reintroduce her after the fallout with Kandi, a scandal that still stings for many fans. But now, with the cast influx and the drama dialed down, the network may finally be ready to gamble on a return. That could bring fireworks back to Atlanta. Let's not forget, Phaedra never really left the public eye. Whether it's her legal career, her ventures in wellness and lifestyle, or her ever-growing social media presence, she's remained relevant, something not all former housewives can claim. With Kenya Moore's shocking exit and Phaedra Parks's potential return, the Real Housewives of Atlanta finds itself at a pivotal moment. But the real question isn't just who's joining or who's leaving. It's about who holds the reins now. For years, NeNe Leakes was the undisputed queen of RHOA, delivering iconic one-liners, unforgettable feuds, and a level of authenticity that kept viewers locked in. But over time, the cast has evolved, new personalities have emerged, and the once ironclad hierarchy has started to blur. As the dust settles, a new era could be dawning, one where veterans reclaim their thrones and the battle for RHOA's future gets even more intense. So, who's really in control of Real Housewives of Atlanta now? We'll be watching. The Real Housewives of Atlanta was built on the backs of bold, unforgettable women powerhouses like NeNe Leakes, Kandi Burruss, and Phaedra Parks. These women didn't just show up to film, they dominated. From their larger-than-life personalities to their unfiltered drama, they defined the energy that made RHOA must-watch television. But in recent seasons, there's been a noticeable shift. Newer cast members like Drew Sidora and Latoya Ali have tried to carve out space for themselves in the spotlight, attempting to fill the gaps left by veterans like Phaedra and Kenya Moore. While these new faces have brought their own brand of drama, something still feels off. It's not quite the same fiery, unrelenting energy that the originals brought to the screen. And now, with Kenya Moore officially gone and Phaedra Parks rumored to be making a grand return, the stakes for the future of RHOA are higher than ever. Could the return of a seasoned veteran force the newer cast members to step up their game in ways they haven't had to before? Even though she hasn't been an official part of the cast in recent seasons, NeNe Leakes remains one of the most talked about names in the RHOA universe. She's practically synonymous with the show, And her recent comments about Kenya's exit and Phaedra's potential comeback suggest that NeNe is still very much involved in shaping the narrative behind the scenes. But here's where it gets even more interesting. NeNe's relationship with Bravo has been rocky. After her departure, she aired grievances publicly, including hints of bad blood and claims of being mistreated by the network. So, if Bravo is seriously considering bringing back Phaedra, does that mean NeNe's influence is waning? Or is it all part of a bigger play to bring her back into the fold too? Her comments about Kenya's exit show that she still has insider knowledge about the show's inner workings. Could she be positioning herself for a major return? If so, a potential alliance between NeNe and Phaedra could become a game-changing power move. Together, they could seize control of the show's narrative and completely reshape RHOA's direction. Or are there too many competing forces at play for any one duo to take over? Let's circle back to Phaedra. Her return is rumored to be part A of a broader effort by Bravo to reignite the fire that's been flickering in recent seasons. But while her return might be the spark the show needs, it's not without its risks. Phaedra has never been one to back down from drama, and when she returns, she's bound to stir the pot. However, what makes her return truly compelling is the possibility of new alliances and new rivalries. In earlier seasons, Phaedra proved she could manipulate chaos to her advantage, navigating the drama like a seasoned strategist. Could she and NeNe join forces and become the ultimate power duo, shading their way back into dominance? On the flip side, Phaedra's return is likely to stir up unresolved conflict, particularly with Kandi Burruss. Their past fallout, stemming from one of the franchise's most explosive scandals, is still raw for many fans. Imagine the tension if Phaedra, Kandi, and NeNe were all back on screen together. That dynamic alone would be television gold. Ultimately, though, it all comes down to their ratings. Let's not pretend otherwise. The biggest driver of change within RHOA isn't just who holds the most influence. It's about who can keep viewers engaged. Ratings have been slipping, and Bravo knows that drama is the key to keeping fans locked in. What better way to revive the franchise than by bringing back two of its most iconic and polarizing figures? NeNe and Phaedra represent old-school RHOA energy. Their history, their feuds, their sheer presence, it's the stuff reality TV dreams are made of. The producers seem to understand that a power struggle is exactly what the fans want. By bringing Phaedra back and potentially luring NeNe in too, Bravo may be playing the ultimate game of television chess. The more chaos and the more drama, the better their ratings. But will it work? Could the return of RHOA veterans reignite the magic of the past? Or is it too much, too fast? With Kenya Moore's shocking exit, Phaedra Park's potential comeback, and NeNe Leakes still casting a long shadow over the series, the Real Housewives of Atlanta is facing a defining moment. The real question isn't just who's coming and going, it's about where the show is headed. The Real Housewives franchise has always been about evolution. Cast members rise, fall, and get replaced. Each departure leaves a hole, and each arrival promises a new dynamic. Right now, RHOA stands at a crossroads. The dynamic is shifting, and the future of RHOA has never been more uncertain. Kenya Moore has long been one of the Real Housewives of Atlanta's most compelling and controversial figures. She wasn't just a housewife. She was the villain, the queen, and the driving force behind many of the show's most iconic moments. From her explosive confrontations to her headline-making feuds, Kenya had a rare ability to turn any situation into a spectacle. She kept viewers glued to their screens. So now that Kenya is out of the picture, the big question is, what happens? Next, her exit leaves behind a massive void. Kenya brought energy, unpredictability, and most importantly, viewers. Without her, RHOA risks losing some of the very spark that made it one of the franchise's highest-rated series. But filling Kenya's shoes won't be easy. Her presence wasn't just loud, it was calculated, strategic, and deeply embedded in the DNA of the show. As NeNe Leakes has pointed out, the show must evolve. The days of relying solely on petty arguments and surface-level feuds are over. To stay relevant and keep fans invested, RHOA has to focus on more than just manufactured drama. It needs depth. And that's exactly where Phaedra Parks comes in. Phaedra's return could be a game-changer for RHOA, but it's a risky move. Yes, she's a veteran with a proven track record of delivering unforgettable TV, but can she recapture the magic of her earlier seasons? Her comeback brings with it a sense of unpredictability, and that's exactly what RHOA needs right now. But Phaedra isn't just returning to stir the pot. She's coming back to solidify her power. With the show's future hanging in the balance, don't expect Phaedra to play it safe. She's likely coming in stronger than ever, ready to remind everyone that she's still a master of the game. Phaedra isn't just looking to be part of the show, she's looking to own it. With Kenya gone, there's a leadership gap, and Phaedra may be eyeing that top spot. But it won't be easy. Kandi Burruss and NeNe Leakes are still very much in the RHOA universe, and both have complicated and in some cases hostile histories with Phaedra. The unresolved tension with Kandi in particular is still a major storyline with emotional weight. And NeNe? With her, anything is possible. Whether it's an unexpected alliance or an all-out war, any interaction between Phaedra and NeNe is guaranteed to generate buzz and, likely, fireworks. While all eyes are on Phaedra, let's not forget about NeNe Leakes. She's the heartbeat of RHOA. From the early days of the franchise to its peak seasons, NeNe set the tone, defined the drama, and turned the series into a cultural phenomenon. Despite her absence from the official cast, NeNe's influence remains strong. Her recent commentary on Kenya's exit and Phaedra's possible return shows she still has insider access and a hand in shaping the narrative. But would Bravo be willing to bring her back in a full-time capacity after all the tension between them? That's the million-dollar question. A full-time return from NeNe would instantly raise the stakes. No one delivers a read, a shady confessional, or agam-changing moment quite like her. But her larger-than-life personality has also been a point of contention with the network. If she comes back, it will likely require a major agreement both financially and personally. Still, the potential is undeniable. Imagine NeNe and Phaedra returning at the same time. Whether they're allies or enemies, the show would instantly feel more alive, more unpredictable, and more RHOA. But here's the catch. That much power in one room could also lead to chaos. Could these dominant personalities coexist without blowing up the show entirely? Or would their egos, unresolved tensions, and competing storylines lead to a complete implosion? With Kenya Moore gone, Phaedra Parks potentially returning, and NeNe Leakes still looming large, the Real Housewives of Atlanta is standing at a critical crossroads. Bravo producers know the show can't coast on legacy drama anymore. The days of recycled storylines and safe casting choices are over. The audience wants more authenticity, more intensity, and more compelling stories. RHOA needs to evolve, and fast. Will the producers double down on the old formula, rebuilding the show around returning veterans and hoping the nostalgia will carry it through? Or will they pivot in a new direction with a fresh cast, ready to redefine what RHOA stands for? The truth is, this next season could make or break the show. What's clear is that fans are still invested. As long as power struggles, shifting alliances, and deep-rooted rivalries remain in play, the Real Housewives of Atlanta will continue to captivate. The on-screen drama is only part of history. The real intrigue lies behind the scenes, in the casting decisions and strategic moves that shape each season. The drama is far from over. In fact, it may just be getting started. Atlanta is often hidden from the public eye. There's much more happening behind the scenes than what we see on our TV screens. From intense negotiations with Bravo to strategic casting decisions that could reshape the entire direction of the show, The Real Housewives of Atlanta is constantly evolving. Let's take a closer look at how producers and casting directors shape the drama and why they may be turning back to some of the show's biggest names, NeNe Leakes, Kenya Moore, and Phaedra Parks, to breathe new life into a franchise that's been struggling to maintain its relevance. Kenya Moore's sudden departure wasn't just a personal decision. It was likely a calculated move by both Kenya and Bravo. For years, Kenya was seen as one of the most controversial and influential members of RHOA. But in the unpredictable world of reality television, nothing is ever guaranteed. After rumors circulated that Kenya was at odds with producers and fellow cast members, her exit started to feel inevitable. Still, the real question isn't why she left, but why now? In a show that thrives on conflict and surprise, timing is everything. Kenya's exit may have been orchestrated for maximum impact. But behind the timing could be something deeper. Was there a contract dispute? Was she unhappy with how her storyline was being handled? In recent seasons, Kenya's role had noticeably shifted from being a drama magnet to more of a background presence. Maybe, just maybe, she wasn't satisfied with the direction producers were steering her. Bravo is no stranger to shaking things up. If producers believed Kenya's departure would spark buzz and reignite fan interest, they wouldn't hesitate to make it happen. It could very well have been a strategic move to keep fans engaged and curious about what's next. In any successful reality TV franchise, the real power doesn't lie with the cast. It lies with the producers. Their job isn't just to capture raw moments, it's to craft compelling storylines, stir up tension, and introduce new energy when things start to feel stale. The producers of RHOA have a long history of bold decisions, from controversial casting to iconic moments that define reality TV. But their casting choices go beyond just finding new faces. They're looking for the right faces. Kenya's exit and the rumored return of Phaedra Parks hint at a strategy. Bring back strong personalities that can drive ratings. And NeNe Leakes, despite her rocky relationship with Bravo, remains one of the most influential figures in the show's history. Her return could be the wild card that changes everything. In the Real Housewives of Atlanta universe, NeNe Leakes' influence is undeniable. While there have been ongoing conversations about her potential return, it's not just about having her back on the cast. The real question is, what kind of role is Bravo willing to give her? Will they offer her the screen time and spotlight she craves? Or will they attempt to downplay her presence to avoid reigniting off-screen tensions? So what really happens when Bravo decides to bring a former cast member like Phaedra Parks back into the mix? It's all about strategy. RHOA isn't just about personalities. It's about carefully managing a balance of drama, conflict, and audience engagement. Bravo doesn't cast people solely based on popularity. They're selected for their ability to stir conversation, provoke reactions, and create viral moments. Take Phaedra, for instance. She was once a fan favorite, but her exit came under a cloud of controversy due to her involvement in the explosive Apollo Nita scandal. At the time, it seemed like her days with the franchise were done. But Bravo knows one thing for certain: controversy sells. Phaedra's return wouldn't just add a familiar face, it would reignite the spark she once brought to the show. Her comeback would immediately generate headlines, dominate social media conversations, and give RHOA a much-needed ratings boost. However, casting decisions come with risks. If Bravo pushes too hard to bring back too much drama or leans too heavily into controversy, it could result in backlash. The key lies in striking the right balance, blending old-school drama with new personalities who bring something fresh to feedable. In today's evolving reality TV landscape, shows like RHOA must keep innovating to stay relevant in an oversaturated market. Producers know that viewers are savvier than ever. Audiences now crave authenticity, real drama, and organic storylines that don't feel scripted or manipulated. In the past, RHOA thrived on fiery drama between cast members, personal rivalries, and larger-than-life personalities. But today's viewers can tell the difference between real tension and manufactured conflict. If Bravo wants to keep the franchise alive, they need to focus on authentic relationships, whether it's revisiting NeNe and Phaedra's old rivalry or watching Kandi and Phaedra attempt to rebuild their broken friendship. As RHOA looks to its next chapter, the challenge is clear. The cast must balance nostalgia with innovation. There's no room for one-dimensional drama anymore. To thrive, the show must evolve with real stories, genuine tension, and a cast that reflects both the past and the future of the franchise.